5:31 p.m. Board members, I'll call your name. Could you please say present for the record? Trustee King?
Present.
Trustee King was present. Treasurer Luna?
Present.
Trustee Rutherford? Vice President McIntyre?
Present.
Trustee Booth?
Present.
Secretary Perkins?
Present.
And myself, President McNeil, 6 present, 1 absent. The board will not hear comments from the public. Seeing there's no public speaker, we'll move to the next agenda item. Board member, at this time, I need a motion and a second to go into closed session regarding attorney-client privilege.
Board President.
Yes.
I make a motion that we go into closed session.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second that we meet in closed section. Board members, I call your name. Could you please say yes or no? Treasurer Luna?
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford? Trustee King?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Myself, President McNeil, 6 yes, 1 absent. We are now to meet in closed session in the small meeting room. Seeing no further business of the board, I declare the special board meetings adjourned at 6:31. At this present moment, due to board members are taking a break, we are doing a 5 minutes break, and we will resume immediately. And that's that. Trustee Rhoda, sign your closed session.
There should be two.
The difference for this next meeting.
Okay.
Kelly, please.
I'd like to call the Flint Board of Education regular board meeting to order at 6:36. Board member, at this time I call your name, could you please say present for the record? Trustee King?
Present.
Treasurer Luna?
Present.
Trustee Relaford? Vice President McIntyre?
Present.
Trustee Booz?
Present.
Secretary Perkins?
Present.
Myself, President McNeil, 6 present, 1 absent. At this time, we have a presentation from our senior. Ms. Field, could you take the floor? He's going to give a 3 minutes presentation. We always give room for our students.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, there's a lot of things that I am excited to be in front of you about, but one of the things that I get most excited about is being able to present one of our seniors to you and the phenomenal job that he did in Beckett's presentation. Provided him the opportunity to earn not just your favor, but your respect, for him to be invited to this evening, to be able to share with you his senior exit presentation for the whole board. And so I'm very, very proud to be able to introduce you to this evening, Mr. Gianni Brown, who will be doing his senior exit presentation with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gianni Brown. Hello, everyone. My name is Gianni Brown, and I am a senior graduating from Southwestern Classical Academy in the class of 2026. And this is my senior exit presentation. Introduction. This quote, the quote says, "No niche is too small if it's yours." It comes from Seth Godin, and the reason I chose this quote is because in my senior class with Ms. Consiglia, we had a one-word project where we chose one word to study all year. And I chose niche. And the reason I chose niche is because it resonates with me. And it makes me feel like I should cherish and really take pride in my purpose, no matter how big or small. My plans after high school. As you can see, I laid out a clear path of where I want to go and how I'm going to get there, from college to my secondary plan trade school and the two colleges I plan on using to get to my ultimate career, my community college and Central State University. Who am I? I am very creative. Since I was a child, I would see something that like visually resonated with me and I would think to myself, I have to recreate this. So here's some art I've done over my senior year. Secondly, are pictures of some sports I've played during my senior year. Basketball and football. Actually, it was my first time doing sports at all during high school, so it's very memorable to me. Thirdly, test. Test. Testing one. Thirdly, is a personal accomplishment that I've took place in. During the summer of 2025, I was a part of the Gear Up Summer Camp program, which was held at Central Michigan University. And while being there, they taught me a lot of valuable skills, not only how to get around a college campus, but also proper dinner etiquette skills through a networking event, and also how to canoe. So that was a very great experience for me. Where am I going? I plan on going to college for graphic design. And my secondary plan is trade school, where I plan to take courses in HVAC/R so I can pursue a career in house realty. How am I going to get there? I plan on starting at Mott Community College with the Fine Arts course and then progressing and maintaining a 3.0 plus GPA so I can meet all the requirements for the transfer agreement. Where then I plan to transfer Central State University to pursue a graphic design course where I can then further my knowledge in art online and eventually end up in a career with graphic design and web design. Colleges I've applied to. I've applied to Mott Community College. I've applied to Saginaw Valley State University, and I've applied to Central State University. Family is one of the most important things to me. I'm the oldest out of 11 siblings, so I feel like I have a lot of leadership to set. Some of my strengths are being open-minded, dependable, a good teammate, having great leadership skills. Even though it was my first year on the football team, my teammates still depended on me to get the job done. And I delivered, even with lesser knowledge of the sport. So I feel like that makes me very dependable. And I also was put in a leadership position on the team. So it was pretty natural feeling to me, since I have so many siblings, that I just took lead naturally. Academic overview. I've been a part of the A&B honor roll. I've been a part of the football team, and I've been nominated for the 2025-2026 GAC Conference Award and Defensive MVP. Academic overview part 2. I've also been a part of the Never Fail League Association, and I have done multiple community service hours and a lot of work after school as well, just to stay involved in the school community and to know what's going on with my school when the school day is over. My short-term goals are apply for the Flint Promise Scholarship, which I've already done, start driver's training this summer, and hopefully begin college with my driver's license, and maintain a 3.0 plus GPA throughout any institute I attend, of course. My long-term goals are to graduate from an HBCU, which I choose to be Central State University, with a master's in computer science, and then I'll look into internships for web design and graphic design. And ultimately, I want to end up in my own career or in my own business for web design. I've completed my FAFSA, I've completed the Michigan Achievement Scholarship, and I've completed Flint Promise. Here are some pictures of the community service hours I've done. I've done some at Kingdom Living Church during the Thanksgiving season, and even more at Methodist United Methodist Church. Challenges I faced throughout high school. During football, I have had anger issues. And during football, being up against an opponent that I have to use physical force on tricked my brain a little bit into thinking I could just exert all my anger, you know? So with the talk from my counselor and help from my teammates and support from my teachers, they helped me understand and differentiate the two. So I've been able to move forward with that problem, and actually I haven't dealt with that problem since the start of football season. The knowledge gap in football was crazy as well, because it was my very first time playing a sport like that of any sort. So doing that, it was a visible gap between me and the other players, but they had my back as a good team does and called me up to knowledge real quick. And my technique, the coaches really helped me sharpen my technique. Despite it being my first year, I did great enough to win an award, and I give that thanks to my coaches. Academic. Credit recovery was something I struggled with because I kind of slacked off my early years of high school in 9th and 10th grade. But with the help from my lovely counselor, Ms. Ford, she got me right back on track with no time. And pre-calculus was a very hard challenge this year. It was the first time I was introduced to like math like that. And I was pretty nervous, but my math teacher, Mr. Cardell, he helped me immensely. And ingenuity, it took a lot to bring myself to do work outside of the classroom. So doing that and constantly have to call Miss Ford to have her unlock my classes, it built a muscle, I want to say, for doing it after school. It kind of became normal. Looking back on my time at high school, there are some memories I'd rather forget, but way more memories that I rather remember. And I'm very grateful for the people I met along the way. I've even re-met some faces I've met in the past. Although I only played sport once, and that was during my senior year, it kind of leaves me with a bittersweet feeling in my mouth because knowing I can't play high school sports again is the bitter part, but being done with high school and building such a connection with so many lovely teammates, it really left a bittersweet taste in my mouth. But I'm grateful to be graduating, and looking back on all of this, I don't think I would change it. I think I would do it all over again the exact same way. Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
It's up to you, but I got to go. We can do that, but not right now. I will now call upon Secretary, no, we got to go to, which one we going to?
Commission.
Comment from the public. Now we have comment from the public.
Good evening.
We ask that you state the reason for addressing the board, and you're fine, that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes on matter within authority of the board. The presiding officer of the board shall have the right to limit the number of persons who may address the board on the same subject. Please state your name before beginning to speak.
My name is
Proceed.
Chantel Jones.
Hi, Ms. Jones.
Hi.
Proceed.
Yes, I will hear about my grandson. He's been, I want him to have the story that young man had that graduated with all the no problems, but my grandson has been beaten, threatened, and stalked by a kid, same kid every time. I asked him, do you ever defend yourself? He says no, because he has a knife. And so I went to the school to find out if this was true. The school said yes, they knew about the knife, and they had each kid that saw the knife write a statement. I have the statements, redacted names from each of the kids. Maybe about 8 students, 4 students saw the knife, the other 4 didn't, but they were threatened to be killed, and my grandson was one of them. My grandson, he's been in about 8 fights with the same kid. He said he never hits him back. He said that this last time the kid followed him to the bathroom and proceeded to beat him up in the bathroom. The teacher just so happened to come in and caught this situation. My grandson is Christopher Davis Jones III. His grandfather rides around with the mayor, Officer Christopher Davis Jones. And I said, one day I want my grandson to be able to be the mayor, but first of all, he has to get education. And the young man is causing the problems. He's a IEP student or special needs. So I want to address the board and ask if you guys can come up with something where all the kids can get a fair education, because this student, he gets all these rights, I was told, because I've talked to the principal, and she says, well, we don't want to take Christopher out of this class and put him into another class because there are even worse kids in there. She said, we'd rather him stay with the devil that he knows. And I don't send my grandson to school to fight or be in hell. And that's what it sounds like. He's in hell being in this school. I volunteer up there every day now. And I said, if he has to be in danger, I'll be up there with him so that way I can watch and try to help in the classroom. You know, I feel sorry for the young man who's having this issue, but he shouldn't be able to stop all the rest of the kids in the classroom from getting an education. Staff told me that they are, you know, scared for themselves as well as the children. So I am here to speak on their behalf, and I hope that you guys can do something about it.
Thank you very much.
Can I give you guys these?
Pam can do that. We won't be responding to that, but I will be meeting with Superintendent Jones one-on-one to address those issues and make sure you get an answer. Thank you.
Okay,
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Seeing no further comment, we will move on. Do we have the Zoom ready? At this time, I would like to introduce our board consultant, Traci Davis, who will be joining us by Zoom, along with our executive system, Pam Beer, who will be providing a presentation on the importance of having a comprehensive school board handbook. Please proceed.
Good evening, President Ellis, Board, Superintendent Jones. I think the first item is actually around the training certification with NSBA. They are here with me today online.
Wait, and are you talking to me or trustee, Ms. Davis?
Yes, we had discussed us going first around the certification, and you would move that to the first because we have NSB.
Yes,
Executive
yes,
Director here.
yes. And that's what we're doing now. We're moving your presentation up because we knew that you guys had a couple of meetings and you're in Vegas.
Correct, so this is not the board handbook.
Okay, so you want NSBA to go first?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what we're
I'm
supposed to do
understanding you. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that.
first. Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Johnson.
All right, I know there's been like a lot of conversation around certification and additional training. And so I was asked to see what opportunities, and we found the opportunity for a national certification through the National Schools Board Association. Superintendent Jones can talk about the 7-to-1, and we were looking for funding, and him and his team did a remarkable job of that. And then Regina will pop in and kind of talk about what that certification program looks like, which is in place right now. We have some proposed dates, and then if there's any questions, we can answer those questions. So Superintendent Jones, you want to just chime in? I think you guys did a wonderful job helping get this molded and put together.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Thank you for your time tonight. I'll be brief. We are going into our partnership agreement, and a part of that is one of the goals is 7+1 training, as we've done before, and was very successful with that training. And so we need to continue to do that in this next partnership. And so we went to the state to ask for funding to support NSBA training. And as long as we are doing training in the state of Michigan, we are able to utilize 21H dollars for that purpose.
Thank you, Superintendent Jones.
You're welcome.
And so with me, I actually have the Executive Director, and Regina McCollar-Jacobs is here. This is nothing new for us. We've been doing this training for 7 years as superintendents and boards through the Association of Superintendents across the country with Howard. We've probably done hundreds with superintendents and boards now. It's a very popular course with the superintendents because we know how important it is for superintendents and boards to drive the work together for outcomes for students. So I'm just going to hand it over to the Executive Director. Thank you for jumping on with me, Regina.
Absolutely. Thank you, Traci. Let me just first say congratulations to your young graduate. Did the presentation. It was exciting to hear his journey, and also know that sometimes the journey can be hard. So I really appreciate your support of students in your community. I want to introduce Valerie Carty. She is the Managing Director of our membership for National School Boards Association. Just a quick overview. I've served in this role for the last 3 years, but I've been at NSBA for almost a decade in various positions, particularly working with our board and a community is that, first of all, congratulations for taking this on. It's one of the things that we find at NSBA is the difficulty of boards to get the necessary professional development that they need, and so much desire. Oftentimes we hold our teachers and administrators accountable for that, but not necessarily ourselves. So congratulations to you and your superintendent for taking this part as well. We have a very brief presentation to give you an overview of what this governance training looks like in the certification program. NSBA has been, we've really, I would say in many ways, ramped up our local governance work. As Traci mentioned, we work a lot with the Superintendent's Association. We entered a relationship also with Howard University now, so school boards across the country can get access to various programs through NSBA. This particular program is the Advanced Certificate Program. It's designed to be a 40-hour course, and essentially what we do is look at what are the core skills that effective boards should have. If you know our Center for Public Education, you know that we do a lot of research in various areas that should be helpful for local school boards and superintendents. And so the purpose and objective is to really make sure that we talk about what are those effective skills that boards have to function at the highest level of excellence. It also provides school boards a better understanding of their role in student outcomes. Oftentimes we hear that boards don't necessarily understand that they have a direct connect to outcomes for students, and we want to reiterate the fact that your work and your decision-making and policy-making directly impacts how well students achieve. And so how can the board see the best way to advance student achievement? Additionally, we look at what is the board's oversight role. And oftentimes when we think about that, it's, you're not doing day to day, but you have a critical responsibility to ensure that the superintendent and his team is held accountable for outcomes, not only for students, but organizational culture in general. We'll talk about strategic planning and how that impacts your budget. For example, we will share with the board that, if you're making decisions at the board table that's not aligned with the strategic plan or not aligned with the budget that you've approved, then you're not likely following the best practices. So we'll talk about that. And then finally, we talk about an understanding of the expectations of the superintendent. How do you evaluate the superintendent? What does that look like? Developing your goals, your shared goals and objectives. And then how do you turn that into the board's work plan so that the superintendent can in fact do day-to-day while you do that high level, as we call it, not on the dance floor, but picking the music kind of work. In the next slide, many of you, I hope, already know about the key work of school boards, but it is a data-driven framework that's backed by research. We are in the process now of reviewing, how school boards are accepting this data, accepting the way it works, but essentially, there's some core characteristics. If you notice, student achievement is in the center of this work, and we make sure that we go through each frame to share with the board what their role is vis-a-vis the superintendent's role. And so the key work subject areas really are around vision, accountability, policy, community leadership, and governance team relationships. We really think that a lot of the previous boxes don't work if we can't get the governance team on the page that it needs to be on to be effective. And then finally, we have a timeline here. I'm actually going to turn this over to Traci because we worked together to come up with a timeline. But of course, it's fluid enough that, if you need to make changes, you're obviously able to do that. The goal, as I understand it, though, is that, first of all, congratulations on CUBE. We would love to see you in October at the Council of Urban Boards of Education and be able to present this to you in a timely manner. Traci, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and then I'm happy to answer any questions that the board and superintendent may have.
Thank you. As we started this work, as Regina's talked about, you all wanting to maybe get this finished in time for the presentation at CUBE, you need 40 hours. So we built out a map, and I talked with the president to see if this could work. So it will look like May 20th, 29th, we would send the pre-work, which is the survey and a DISC assessment. Included in that, for those board members who sent me their questions, I did not forget, we folded them into the national assessment, so you all would get some of those answers back for the questions that you asked me. We would kick off June 1st with building, Trust and Vision. July 25th, Accountability and Policy. August, Governance, Human Relationships. September 11th and 12th, Community Leadership and Engagement. And as Regina spoke, all those other pieces around strategic plan, budgeting, those are built into those particular high-level topics. And then you would, if you completed the 40 hours, you would be presented with your certificate at CUBE at the annual conference in October. And the days are flexible. We picked Saturdays because we know folks worked, so we tried to make sure that it was an opportunity for everyone to be off and to be present. I think we could take that slide down and take questions.
Do any board member have any questions or comments? Trustee Nightingale?
Yes, thank you so much, and I'm glad that we're finally at this stage where we can get to this important work, because it's something that I've been really trying to emphasize, and I know that Dr. McNeil as well. We are coming up on needing to renew our strategic plan, so I think that this is a really important tool that we can be doing. So I would be in support of this, so that we can be better equipped to align the strategic plan with student outcomes. I really liked hearing that the emphasis is on student outcomes, because we've been really trying to emphasize that, and it's just so important in our district that we look at student success and what students are getting, not necessarily what teachers or administrators or the community per se, even though we're all a part of that, but to emphasize the student success. I also think it's important because this, as board members, we're the only thing that makes you qualified to be a board member is that you live in the city of Flint and you're elected. So unfortunately, we come with all different types of skills and different agendas, and this would help maybe make it a better working system, because while I don't want to have legislation, saying that we have to do certain things as an elected official or as a board member, I mean, I really respect the democratic process. It does have its drawbacks, as we've found out over the years. So I think this would be good for unifying the board, maybe facilitating better communication, and also I'm glad that this is being presented so that the public can see the kind of training that we're getting and the intensive training. That being said, 40 contact hours is equivalent to 42 contact hours is a semester, is a class in college. And so if anyone wonders why it's 40 hours, this would be the equivalent of us taking a college class. So I think this will really underscore the best practices. And then the last thing I wanted to say was we've already been certified, the entire board, under MASB, the Michigan Association of School Boards. This would just take it to the national level. And given that we're in the process of really aligning with our partners and building a new high school, I think it's imperative that we have a national certification, because we're going to be out there leading the charge, and this could be a role model or a template for other school districts around the country. So doing this and understanding the difference between policy and standard operating procedures and practices, because you don't want to codify everything and make everything a policy. That's just not feasible, but it would give us a template and a blueprint for collectively working together and working better and more cooperatively. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to comment? Trustee Perkins?
I just want to say, we have two of the best in front of us, Sister Jacobs and Sister Davis, and you really know your stuff. Now, I know that for a fact. We've been in a lot of classes under you, a lot of navigation under you, and we want to be the best that we can be to help this community. And I noticed one of the portions of your timeline was community, and I think that's so important. And I'm trying to figure out a way to just draw everything in from that community because it's so important to get the kids involved, get them educated to the point that I think, or the board thinks that they need to be, because the scholars at the end of the day are our main concern, to get them up and ready. And so we're trying to, as Trustee McIntyre said, we are all board certified, but as much education as we can get to help navigate and help grow this school district properly is a goal of mine personally, and it should be one of all of ours. But I really thank you for your time and all the attention that you're giving us. And Sister Traci, you have really been helpful in navigating as a consultant. So I thank you.
Is there any more comments from the board before Mr. Davis leaves? Seeing no more further comments, I want to thank you. And for the listening audience, you might want to know, well, why is a handbook? 6 years on this board, and the amount of work that we have invested in this district. It would be devastating when the other board members come in. It takes us 2 to 3 years just to get them to focus, because they come in with their own agenda. And we have spent too much money in this district. One of the things that I felt, we end up with 2 policy. We just can't keep writing policy to avoid following the policy that's already mandated. A handbook is a direction. Who do you see? Who do you talk to? The young lady that was standing here, the person that she needs to speak to would be the superintendent. No board member has any right to be engaged in that, because the superintendent handles that. We heard the case, you pass it over to the superintendent. This is what this handbook does. We have the Mott Foundation, we have the state giving us money. We will not go back into that dark place because we don't understand the true role of a board. Yes, you are a board, but you're not a dictator. You don't come in and run what you want to, do what you want to do. Our executive administrator, she's be our parliamentary, has a handbook. Every new board member, this is something that go on for years and years. You give them a handbook, they follow the handbook, follow the policy. When Neela don't speak to it, Robert Ruth speaks to it. So I'm looking forward to this because we spent so many years fighting policy. So Ms. Davis, I thank you for your presentation. Yeah. So saying all of that, we are seeking a motion to accept this training. Is this okay with the board? I need a motion.
I make a motion that we accept this training,
What's that training called, Mr. Jones?
NSBA training.
There's a motion on the floor to accept the 7.1 NS.
Support.
It's been motion second. Is there any comments from the board?
Madam Chair,
Trustee King.
Mr. Jones, if I heard you right, we're using 21H funds to cover the cost of this training
Through the partnership
through the partnership agreement. How much is the training in total?
Ms. Davis, could you answer? I think it's somewhere around 50.
Yeah, well, so it might be 60 because we added 2 more people because they do a per person price, and we added the 7 and 1, changed the dynamics, including Pam. So now it's all 8 of you in theory. And I believe it's 64,000. And Kelly can come up because Kelly and I worked it out based on
Mr.
the discount.
Do we have the contract? Or are we just approving to move forward, but we haven't approved the contract yet, right?
So I'm going to give that over to you all. Do we?
As Ms. Phil, you understand, ask that question. Am I correct?
It would be Ms. Davis that would probably need to answer the question about the contract for this training.
So NSBA will send you a contract,
Yes.
not me. And
Okay.
we were waiting for all the pieces from Mrs. Field to fall in place. I believe that contract is at 64. Is that what we discussed, Kelly?
Yes, it was
After making the adjustments, what you put in?
originally I thought we were at 57,000. That's what the last quote that I had was.
Right, but we added the body for training.
Oh, for the 7+1. So it'd be
Yes,
64,000 that would be going for 21H funding. Dr. Coleman and Ms. Templeton would be submitting that through our pals, Paul Schumer, and then we should receive word back in relatively quick order because that's due by June 5th.
So we have a contract?
We do not have a contract.
You will have a contract today. So you're approving to move forward, and Virginia said we will send you the contract. But there was just
To move forward.
discussion that was not formal, so we wanted to make the presentation. So if you were moving forward, NFPA will send you forward a contract like tomorrow.
So moving forward would be having you send us the contract and we approve the contract at the next meeting. That's what moving forward look like?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not making, so this motion is not intended to be paying for anything. This is just to get the contract from them.
information, wouldn't it be, the next steps would be to have them send us the contract, we look it over, and then we approve applying for the funding, and then whether we get the funding or not? would-
I think for what I was looking for,
Okay.
is so when I heard the motion to move forward, I'm not, let me make sure I'm clear, I'm not
Yeah.
against moving forward. You know, I love training, I love doing it. But I want to make sure the motion is not about approving funds when you haven't received the contract and we seeing
Right.
those things. We don't approve things without seeing the
Right.
contract. I want to make sure that's clear.
That is clear.
And so moving forward consists of allowing the conversation to keep happening and we receive a contract to
Right.
approve.
Yes.
Right.
So in my opinion, there will be no vote needed because of, moving forward, when we get any presentations from the administration and Cal, we don't vote to move forward to say, give me the information. You just present the information and we vote on it. That's just my thing. But if it's a formality that the board wanted to do, I'm not against it.
Ms. Davis, you sound like you want to speak on that.
Yes, Ms. Carter Jacobs has her hand up on the
Just
Zoom.
wanna- this is a great moment for best practices. I was gonna say, if you'd like, you can very much say that you approve, which is why I started the way I did with congratulating you on just the professional development itself. You could very easily approve the concept of the training pending approval of the terms of the contract. And then that way, when you get the contract in front of you, you essentially have looked at the details of that and you're approving at that point the terms, if you will. And I think that would satisfy probably, Mr. Board, Mr.
Point of information, and
Yes.
pending funding, or are we just going forward?
Concept of training and pending of term of
Pending
the
in terms
contract.
of contract, but what
Get the
about
contract.
applying for
If I still have the floor, I just think we just get the contract and you present it at the next board meeting. I don't think there's a formality vote that's needed. We just present the
We
contract.
don't get the funding.
We have the funding through 20ONH, right?
No,
Didn't we?
We're gonna apply for it June 3rd.
Wait a
No?
minute,
Did you
are
s-
you applying for the funding and you need us to accept it so you can apply for it?
No, we've already.
That's
we-
what I thought.
we-
Go ahead,
We've
Mr. Jones.
already applied to put this in 21H.
Yes.
Right.
We've already done that work.
And we approve for that. We're good because that's training is happening inside the state.
So you have it's not a pre-approval, it's the window for that has just opened. Dr. Coleman and then Ms. Templeton will be having conversations with Paul and facilitating the route that they are supposed to go to make sure that that approval is done. The preliminary information that was provided to us is that as long as the training is in state and it is part of our partnership agreement, that there should be clear way for you to be able to get approval.
To my colleagues, if I may, I would just recommend, let it go through this process, we get the approvals, then you give us the contract. We already agreed that this was happening. They're here now, we know they're coming. We just allowed the contract to come after we got the funding approved. Ms. Danielle already had the conversations, we get the contract, then we move forward with that piece.
Point of information, has the funding been approved?
The funding has not been officially approved. It has been explained that it should be an approved item as long as it's in state.
But it has not yet been approved, and we'll find out June 5th.
That's the last submission date that we can submit it by.
Madam President,
You first, okay.
go ahead.
Trustee Rutherford.
All right, I'm, you guys must have been reading my mind. Can we have an approval letter prior to moving forward, because there's no need of putting the cart before the horse. I think this is amazing. I think it's great. I think it's needed. But I think we should, one, have the contract in hand so that the board will have an opportunity to review it prior to our meeting. And if there's any questions or clarification, we can submit that to, is that you, President McNeil? If we have any questions about the contract, we submit that to you or to Ms. Davis or Ms. Regina. Can some,
It would go to NSBA.
so that would be who?
Regina.
That would go to us. We thought the, all the preliminary things were taken care of for our presentation tonight. So
Okay.
you do
Well,
what you need to do to make sure that everyone on the board is comfortable before we
okay.
engage.
Well, good. Well, I apologize if, I wasn't aware. Let me first say that I can only speak for Melody. I wasn't aware, but I will be more accountable, being able to read the contract to see exactly what is entailed, knowing that we do have the funds approved for this training prior to taking a vote. But I'm one of 7, but I just think that's just best practices, and that's what's best for this district, so that we won't have to hit general funds in case something comes up, in case we don't get the money. Thank you.
Anyone else before? Board members, what we're asking for is a concept of training pending on the terms of the contract, so they can move forward. They got to see you interested that this is what we want to do. We're saying, yes, this is what we want to do. Once we agree to that, then they can move forward. Nobody's asking to approve a contract that does not exist. This is a very sharp board. We know that we can't do that whether you like it or not. This is a very sharp board. So we know that we're not trying to get a contract approved. It's the concept of training. Yes, we really want this training. Now that the team up there know that we want this training. It's MDE. They provide this type of training. They know that we want it. Then we are saying that, yes, we want this concept of training pending the term of the contract. So when the contract comes, you have the opportunity to read it in its entirety, vote it up or vote down. But right now, we are just saying, board members, are you in agreement with this concept of training pending the terms of the contract? This is a yes or no vote. Yes.
The motion that was given was to move forward. It did not include the language pending all the added.
Yeah, point of order.
Point
Yes,
of
ma'am.
order, I can amend it.
Thank you. So, Trustee King, it was correct in his thinking that he was thinking that we was approving the contract. That is not what we're approving.
Right.
So what your motion should be to accept the concept of training pending of the term of the contract
Exactly.
and funding.
Mm-hmm.
So the motion, you rescinded that motion?
Yes,
Once that motion is rescinded,
I rescind
you
the
are
motion.
correcting it.
No, I'm good.
So, you want to correct your
Mhm.
motion?
I
Proceed.
make a motion that we approve a preliminary
A concept.
concept of the training pending the terms of the contract with the finance attached to it once we get it and look over the contract. Approved.
Did we understand the motion clearly? Does
Madam
any-
Chair, I don't understand that.
The NSBA contract. We are approving the concept pending the monetary portion of the contract for the SBA training
Terms and
and
funding.
the terms and the funding when it gets here. We'll look it over and we'll, vote it up or down depending on the terms in the contract.
It's just a second. Second. It's been properly moved second. Is there any further question outside what we just stated? Pending is here, or we can go in for a vote.
Madam Chair,
Trustee Rutherford?
the discussion came out that the fundings were not approved. We do not have a contract. and the conversation was, everyone agreed with it. What are we voting on when we do not have a contract or funding?
Is there any more discussion?
Can somebody answer that?
Seeing no further
You just gonna
discussion.
ignore me?
The motion on the floor is to approve the concept of training pending of terms of contract and funding will be conducted by a roll call vote. Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Luna?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford?
No.
Myself, that's 6 yes, 1 no, the motion passes.
Pay attention
Thank you
to this
very
board.
much for your presentation. Looking forward to working with you, and hoping we can move this board forward on a positive note. Thank you.
I don't think Tracy went over the hand.
Someone bring something to
Okay,
him.
Tracy, thank you. Is Tracy coming back to go over that handbook?
Oh,
She up
yes,
there.
I'm still here.
Yes.
Thank you, Superintendent
You
Jones.
may be- Thank you.
Thank you very much. Be seeing
Ms.
you soon.
Jacobs.
Thank you, President Ellis and Superintendent Jones. This item actually is a board item. There's been discussion about creating a SAL, a handbook, and so we're trying to bring this to a discussion that belongs to you all. What we have created is some opportunities of benefits around having a board handbook to help you guide the conversation. Pam, are you gonna run the screen, just so I know, or am I gonna run mine?
No.
Because yours cuts off information for me.
Okay,
How about
Stephen,
I just tell you to go to the next slide when I'm ready?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
fine? Is
yeah,
that fair?
that's fine.
Okay.
thank you.
All right. And then after we finish, the board can have the discussion about how they want to guide the work for Pam and I to work on, if this is the direction the board so chooses to go. So why a school board needs a board handbook, of course, key benefits of effective governance, and also the opportunity to ensure consistency across the system. Next slide, Pam. A board handbook is not just a reference document, it is the foundation of responsible, effective, ethical governance. Without a handbook, the board operates on memory or rumors or what people personally think. With a handbook, the board operates on clarity, consistency, and the law. Part of the handbook is collaborated with what's in your board policy and Neola. So the handbook doesn't supersede, but it actually is a quick reference for items in which how you are to operate and govern yourself as you operate with the superintendent doing this work. Some of the benefits. Next slide, Pam. It ensures legal compliance, it promotes consistency in decision-making, it supports succession planning and institutional memory, so as board members exit and new board members come on, there is a plan that's in writing that you all can talk about. Here's where that answer is, and they can look at it and learn. So you don't have every time a new board member come on, well, nobody knows something, because one person sees it one way, one person sees it another way. It creates a uniform way to address the needs of the system and operating with the superintendent. It streamlines onboarding for new members because you have a tool, training tool that you can use, and it also improves transparency and public trust. Next slide. It clarifies roles and responsibility. It defines the duties of the board versus the superintendent. I know there's lots of operational versus what the board can do, so it keeps the board at a high level, and it keeps the superintendent on the day-to-day duties. It enhances board effectiveness and efficiency. It reduces risk of misconduct or ethical breaches. It serves as a reference during disputes. If something's not clear, you can go back to the board handbook to discuss what that is and how you can answer that question in a dispute. And it encourages regular policy review and improvement. There's also benefits for the superintendent. Next slide. It strengthens the superintendent's and board participation. It actually clarifies the superintendent's authority. It streamlines the communication, and it saves time and reduces sometimes frustration on both the board and the superintendent when trying to get the work done. Next slide, Pam. It protects against board overreach. It provides consistency during board turnover. It reduces legal risk for the superintendent and supports superintendent's performance and evaluation. Next slide. So for the bottom line, a board handbook does not limit the superintendent's power, and that is not what it's meant to do. It protects and empowers them by creating clear, consistent, and professional governance structures as agreed upon by the board as a whole. Pam, I think you have the next slide.
Yep. So, okay, our next steps are upon a board motion and approval, we will move forward with the creation of a board handbook. So how that's gonna happen, I'll work with board consultant, next slide, I'm sorry. I'll work with the board consultant, Ms. Davis. Together, we will create and maintain the development of calendar, sort of like a timeline in the board handbook. We'll also work closely with the vice president to ensure that we're following policy and that everything is accurate and germane. And then Ms. Davis will provide the expertise, and she will be the one facilitating the sessions. So then we'll all work collaboratively together in committee meetings where you all will provide feedback and do your votes for approval.
And so can I just add, we are the worker bees, and Vice President Laura, sorry I didn't get a chance to contact you about putting your name in the slide, but I knew that you were over policy, and we will be working with you to ensure where the policy and Neola pieces are referenced, that those could be placed in there. Building a handbook is a huge job. We can't build it in a day, and I know it's a lot of reading. So part of the thinking was that we would do sections by sections for you to review and cal for an initial before you do a final approval as we continue this work. Next slide. Pam, are you taking this one or me? I don't care.
You are.
Okay, so remember, we were talking about a handbook, so we just put some sections together. This is fluid. You all have the ability to add and take things out, but we wanted to get something more concrete. So as we looked at the sections, what we would include in the sections, and the committee reviews will revise the draft. So we'll just come up with a draft. You all will have to make the wording what you want it, what you want us to add to it, what's important to you as a board, not what's important to us, but what's important to you as we draft it. And when it's done, we'll incorporate legal review. So when the final approval, before it goes to you for your final approval of the final handbook, we'll make sure that legal has reviewed that for compliance before you make the final approval on the draft. Next slide. So we look at implementation and training. So once it's done, like if we build a book, we'll distribute the final handbook. There'll be a training session. When new members come, you will have to decide how those new members of the board will be oriented to the new board book. It will be a living document on your webpage, and board members would acknowledge that they received this so that they know what's expected of them and how to engage and do the work as a board member and with the superintendent. Next slide. Ongoing updates and reviews. There'll be an annual review once you have this in place. There'll be an amendment process. As we do this work, things change, so you might have to change things in that handbook. Of course, there's a version control, which Pam will keep the original version as you move year through year and you add and take away. There will be a version control. And of course, there's got to be a periodic comprehensive review every 2 to 3 years. Does this book still work for the work that we need to do? So everyone would have opportunity to participate in what they think is important, yet the board would vote as a whole on the language in the book. And finally, it's in alignment to the NSB National Certification and the work through NSBA, so it's not out of sequence. We will be doing this in simultaneously while we're doing board training to get this done. If that doesn't happen, we still will be doing this training. Our goal is to have this ready hopefully by October of 2026, which is in a few months. The discussion really is owned by the board to drive the work and tell us what they would like us to do, but we have set out like how we could build this out in a timeline and the things that are in it. So I would say questions first, but the questions really are for you all to decide if this is the work and approve us to go do the work versus just saying we need a handbook. I want to thank Superintendent Jones. We talked about this work and worked collaboratively, so it's not a board and disconnect with the superintendent. We are all working together to ensure that this handbook is in place to be successful to drive the work in the district. Tammy, you can take down the slideshow if you like, so I can see everybody's faces in the discussion.
Trustee McIntyre?
So thank you so much, Ms. Davis. I just wanted to add that that I've been working closely with Ms. Davis and also with the academic committee. We're working on academic policies, and this comes out of work that the board has been doing as a whole, because I know that we've been asking for how do we delineate between policies, standard operating procedures, you know, handbooks, laws, statutes, and things like this. We've kind of been trying to figure out what that process would be, and I think that this process is going to be the best because it gives us an outside consultant to help facilitate the process, because I know that when we started having governance meetings, they kind of went a little sideways, so it's nice to have experts come in and help us facilitate this process. Plus, it's in alignment with the national certification process, so thank you so much. I also wanted to say that this is going to solidify the institutional memory, which is so needed, because when Joyce and I first came onto the board, we had 2 sets of policies that contradicted one another, and that's what happens when you start to add on to policies, to Neola or to MSBA or to any set of policies that you have, and you start adding on piecemeal policies. So this is really going to help us focus and clarify the process so that then we have something institutional that then can be passed on to the next board, so it's not capricious or arbitrary in terms of decision-making and policy-making. So I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to say that you know, while Traci is facilitating the process and I'm kind of overseeing it, this is for all of us to take part in, and I'm glad also that Ms. Davis, you know, pointed out the fact that it doesn't take away power or limit power or anything like that. It actually clarifies and safeguards positions, you know, that for evaluations and things like that. So thank you. I think this is very clear, and I think we've got an aggressive timeline. I would like to see it done by October, but I think it is doable, because I think, you know, we've been doing a lot of the work, and it aligns with the work that we're already doing.
Thank you. Trustee Roman?
Thank you. First off, thank you, Board President, Mr. Jones, and Ms. Davis for kind of bringing this for discussion. But also thank you, Trustee King, and congrats, because you've been pushing operating procedures for the last 2 years, and this essentially achieves that goal. So I know you've been really adamant about that, so thank you as well.
Thank you, Trustee King. Seeing no further comments, I would like to, first of all, like we said, Trustee King and Trustee Loman.
We all have been trying to figure out how we can come together without creating policy that nobody wants to follow. It's easy to follow a handbook. And all of this comes from board members listening to each other. When you're sitting here as the president, my job is to listen to my board members when they bring in good ideas that are better, the board. And these 2 young men that we have on our team, they're very bright, they're very sharp, and they have a lot of great ideas. And I enhance those ideas, and that's how we came up with something that we all can agree and workable. Because we have a Neola policy, I guarantee you nobody picks it up because it's there. But this here will reference you. How do you behave yourself? How do you handle complaints? And stay in your lane. So I want to thank you. And I think what we're looking for was a motion to accept, say that again. So we're looking for a motion and approval for us to move forward with the creation of the handbook.
So is there a motion to approve work moving forward with the handbook? I need somebody to make a motion.
I move to allow the administration and Ms. Davis to move forward with the creation of the board handbook.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second.
So, point of information, to allow the administration to move forward?
It's administration.
Okay, I just,
Yeah, they work
I didn't
together.
hear you, that's
Yeah.
all.
And it's all board work, it's all teamwork. So the motion has been to move forward. Been properly moved and second. Is there any, shouldn't be too many, but is there any further comments from the board? Seeing no further comment, roll call. Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford? Trustee Luna?
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
And myself, President McNeil, 6 yes, 1 no, the motion passed. Congratulations, board. Thank you very much.
Ms. Davis.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Beer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Beard.
Now, what we are going to do now, we kind of got a little off our agenda, but people live in different parts of the states and have other things to do. What we're going to do is move forward to the approval of minutes, and I believe there was a batch to the approval of minutes. Am I correct? I need a motion for this.
Chair,
Yes.
I move to batch all our board meeting minutes.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? And seeing no discussion, roll call. Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Luna?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford? Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Myself, President McNeil, the motion passed to batch.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve the batched items.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second to approve the batch. Any discussions? Conducted by roll call vote to accept the approval. Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Luna?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 7 yes. The motion passes. We did the handbook. I would like to ask Superintendent Jones to present, no, are we doing this?
Communication protocol.
Personnel recognition, hold on. We got off track here. What are we doing here? It's gonna be you? Okay. I call on Super Jones to present the communication protocols updates.
In your board packet, board members,
Okay, thank you.
page 14 and 15 is the communication protocol that has gone live since Friday. We had an opportunity to discuss that in our midterm conversation. Are there any questions
Mr.
or
Jones,
comments? Yes, sir.
first, I would like to say thank you for hearing the board conversation and taking action, and implementing the communication protocol. I encourage all of our stakeholders to follow the communication protocol as set. From my perspective, I will do my best, all of my ability to support you into this communication protocol from where I sit at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee McIntyre.
Would this be possible to put it on our website, perhaps?
It is on the website.
It is, okay, thank you.
Oh, great.
It is for, we have the copy for families, and we also have it for staff. This is in response to the board's request, and making sure that our teachers, for example, teachers in the classroom, if there's issues for families, the first contact would be the classroom teacher. The second contact is the principal, and then it goes on from there, so on and so forth. And for teachers, for staff, not just teachers, but everyone, it is a clear road to the Board of Education. But what we're asking everyone to do is hold the step before you accountable to making sure that they understand the situation before you take it on. And that's the same for me. So I would, if you look at staff conflict, I would need to make sure that the fourth contact, which is human resources, knows about this. They've talked to human resources, they've gone through the steps, and then it will come to me for me to take it further. So that's what this communication is for. and it's for staff, and it's for families as well.
And I just wanted to add that it allows for us to comply with labor laws, union contracts, and law in general. So this is really important, and I'm glad that we've clarified this and made it real. I like the layout, I like the format. Great job, thank you.
Mr. Jones. Who's next?
Madam Chair.
Trustee Rutherford.
Mr. Jones, was attestation added to it for the staff to acknowledge receipt of it?
Say that again.
Was an attestation assigned to it where the staff can click that they have received it, acknowledge receipt of the protocol?
We did not do that. I sent it out. We sent it out to all of the staff. We put it on the website, but we also sent it to principals first and told principals to make sure that they share with staff. So I do know where you're coming from. I don't,
I
no,
gotta
we did
follow
not
up.
do that.
A reason for that is that should be added to their file. That should be something that's annually, that's sent out to where they do an attestation that they are in receipt of it and that they do understand it. So no one can say they didn't get it.
No, they-
Okay, thank you.
One question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. You can revise this, obviously, but just if someone calls up about like an abandoned building or like garbage dumping, can you put more details into that? Now, I haven't read this yet, by the way, but just so we know how to do that as well.
Facilities and grounds.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Yep.
I'm all set, thank you.
Trustee McIntyre.
Oh, no, he answered the question.
Okay. All right. Ms. Field, were you going to do a partnership update? Proceed.
So board members, as Ms. Fields is going to briefly go over the goals for the partnership, I just wanted to make sure that you know that Trustee Perkins, Trustee Booz, and Trustee McIntyre has been a part of some of these conversations and has given input on the partnership agreement. We're going to briefly take about 3 minutes to go over some of the goals so you'll know what they are for the partnership and the reasons why we have this partnership. Ms. Fields.
Absolutely. Thank you, Superintendent Jones. I appreciate that introduction. So not only did these fine board members join us for a portion of this year in helping us to develop these goals, we also engaged in a periodic resource allocation review at each building that looked at the inequities in each building and came up with challenge statements and plans to move forward to ensure that all students have been considered and captured for whatever barriers might lay in the way of student success. On top of that, we did goal-setting meetings as well as MyKit planning to assess our district improvement plans as well as school improvement plans as well. As we move forward in the partnership agreement, which I could not be more glad to have gotten through and get us to a final draft, that's what you have in, as part of your board packet this evening that was submitted to Ms. Beard this past week. And so to keep in line with the conversation that we had this evening around your own board goals, that is one of our partnership agreements, and one of the reasons why I feel incredibly confident that the state will be supporting us in putting forward our agenda for the board to be certified. And not only will you end up meeting your 18-month mark goal with the timeline that you've had introduced to you this evening, but you'll end up making your 36-month benchmark goal long before your 18-month benchmark goal is in order to be met, which keeps in order with this board to be able to be aggressive in meeting their goals. So by the 36-month benchmark, the governance team will include the full board with total of 5 governance workshops that'll be facilitated by that professional organization of the NASB. And then the certification, it will be part of the evidence for that goal, as well as a self-assessment that the board will conduct with your facilitator at the end of your training to see where your training ended up. In addition to that, we still have a local and a state assessment goal for achievement in both math and ELA. The state recommended in our goal-setting session that we remain with the 5% of points or 55% for both the interim at the 18-month benchmark for our local assessments, and 10 percentage points or 55% for the 36. The state assessment is at 10% for the 18-month mark for both ELA and math, and it is 19% for the 36, for a total of 29% proficiency in both ELA and math by the end of the partnership agreement. In addition to that, they have made new this year with the partnership agreements for all districts is an attendance goal where we will be reducing chronic absenteeism by 3% at the onset of the 18-month mark. And then we will be moving to, I think it is 5%, altogether for the end mark of 36-month. We have a graduation goal for Southwestern where we will increase by our 18-month a 7.5% to meet the state's recommendation of 62.38%. And then a further jump of 10%, which would bring us to about 72% at the end of the partnership agreement. Outside of that, the goals really do remain the same. We have an imposed goal of MTSS framework, where we will ensure that there is an MTSS framework that is full and functioning. We're well on our way to that already. And we will have evidence that we'll have to provide for the MTSS framework. And then finally, a goal of expenditures. The superintendent made it clear that he wanted to make sure that we were spending our Title I dollars and that we were utilizing them to the fullest extent. And so by developing a process and identifying the things that we needed to do to be able to be in full compliance with the spending with Title dollars is the other one. In our updates for June, our academics updates in June, I will be providing some baseline data, so you will be able to go ahead and we'll see where we start, and then we'll be looking toward where we end.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And I really appreciate the board's participation in the goal setting for this year, and I think that it really just want to go ahead and also reaffirm you for pushing us to make sure that we were increasing our expectations around kids, our scholars' achievement as well. So thank you this evening, board, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was very quick, clear, down, great presentation. But I also wanted to emphasize that when we were in the meeting, that the state partners and the other partners in the meeting, that those are baseline goals, that we're not to limit ourselves at those percentages, because they wanted to do the bare minimum so that we're successful. But in our mind, as a board, I think that success has no limit. And so we shouldn't just, say, oh, here's the goal that we need to reach, but we should shoot for the sky. We should, because to me, 65%, even 75% graduation rate is not acceptable. Thank you.
Nope. I agree with Trustee Laura McIntyre. I think we need to shoot for higher goals within the district, but to clear ourselves of the partnership, we do the minimum requirements for that. Thank you.
And they're just being partners with us, right? They're trying to help us be successful, which is why they set they're not necessarily low goals, but I just wanted to emphasize that this was a great process, whereas before a lot of the partnerships we've been in have been more punitive and telling us what to do as opposed to working with us to be successful. So thank you to the Michigan Department of Education too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I would like that Superintendent Jones to present action items.
Or is it at the pleasure of the board that, so we go into the HR or? Yep. So you want me to go through the motion? I can go through the motion. Okay. I seek a motion and a second from the board to approve Resolution 1.11.
So moved.
Personnel recommendations.
Support.
That was quick.
Either we're gonna run this board properly and follow procedure, or we're gonna have two different meetings. Now, I'm reading the script, and it's impolite for the audience for all of these different conversations that is going on. Mr. Jones, I appreciate, what we are going forward with. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to approve Resolution 1.11 personnel recommendations.
Already made the motion.
Yeah, it was, nobody, it was so much noise. It was second, right?
It was moved in second.
Okay, it been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to approve resolution 1.11 conducted by roll call vote. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Luna?
Yes.
And myself, 7 yes.
Madam Chair, if I may ask a question?
After this motion, go ahead.
Yeah, so I reviewed the agenda for this meeting,
Yes,
and all the items we
yes,
approved last week are the ones that we're approving today for a second time.
yes.
Is it okay if we batch some of these?
Question on the floor, can we batch, because we did go through this on the count to move them for action item, and we're looking to batch 11.28, 11.29, and 11.30.
And 31.
And 31. What's the pleasure of the board?
I support that.
So I make a motion, we batch items 11.28 through 11.31.
Support.
It's been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Yeah, so in general, I'm not, best practices are not to batch it, but I mean, I'm in agreement with this. So it's not that we can or we can't, but it's just that we like to kind of keep the process open for democratic participation. So in this case, I'm sure the audience would love for us to batch these items too, because there's not much we had a robust discussion in the COW, but I just wanted to note that if there is anything that's more contentious or needs more discussion, that I tend to prefer to, go through them one by one. But thank you for that, Trustee Luna. I think it's appropriate in this instance.
So it's been properly moved in second. We'll take a roll call to accept the batch of the item mentioned 11.28 through 11.31. Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booth?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Luna?
Yes.
And myself is yes, 7 yes. The next thing would be to approve it, the same items that we batch. 11 point, are we going for approval now? Because we approved the batch.
Yep.
Now we're approving the items.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we approve the batched items.
Support.
It's been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. So I just would like to give a shout out to the custodial and maintenance service who's here. I don't know if they want to, if we want them to.
We right in another.
Right, but
I
I mean,
think we'll do that after we approve them.
but this is for just to note, this is what we are voting.
Yeah, but we're gonna do that when we finish out. the
I
process.
understand,
Okay,
Okay,
so
I
the,
just wanted to
yeah.
point that out, yep.
we're doing a roll call. Approve the batch 11.28 to 11.31 conducted by roll call. Secretary Perkins,
Yes.
Trustee Booth,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford,
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Treasurer Luna,
Yes.
myself, which is 7, to approve the batch of these items. If, I know you wanted to come at, and I give you that floor to say something, but we're gonna move to the next item.
I was commenting on the batch.
Okay.
Because that was part of the meeting, and that's what I said. So.
Okay.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, I seek a motion and a second from the board to approve action item 21.8, approval of grant commitment letter to Flint Community Schools from the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation.
So moved.
Support.
It's been properly moved and second. Is there any discussions? Trustee King?
I'm trying to find, is this the same document that we had last week? The exact same, Mr. Jones?
Yes.
If I recall, there was something in here that mentioned about getting approval to communicate. I'm trying to find it here so I'll be able to speak to it. Do you know what page that is?
Are you speaking of public information? That would be page 76 in your packet.
So this document has been updated.
This is the same document.
Wasn't it?
Are you looking at the lawyer's letter, or are you looking?
No.
Okay.
Looking at where, I recall reading that, I'm sorry, 1 second here.
Page 76. If you're talking about the public information section, I think that's what you're referring to.
You want to read that one? You're talking about the Mott Foundation may publicize information
Yep.
on its intended support for the project. The Mott Foundation also welcomes Flint Community School to make announcement related to the future project support upon return of this signed letter. However, a copy of any release or other public disclosure should be sent to the Mott Foundation Communication Department for approval prior to this dissemination. The department is available to provide assistance in your communication effort.
Yeah, oh,
efforts.
thank you for that. Yeah, so this section here of this agreement, I do not agree with. I would rather have a conversation about this, so when the line that talks about, however, a copy of any release or other public disclosure should be sent to the Mott Foundation's Communication Department for approval prior to dissemination. I would love to have some conversation about it. Now, let me be clear with my comments. I'm not against partnering. I welcome and I appreciate all the efforts that the foundation has done. I want to make sure I'm clear here. I'm not against it. But what I am have a concern about is that line there, because if we want to promote all the good things going on with the high school, it appears as if we have to get approval to make any kind of any public, where it talks about any public press releases or anything of that nature. I think that line, we should talk through that and ask for a conversation around what that looks like, because having to have our communications approved around the high school, I think that's reasonable in my opinion.
Mr. Thomas, can you come forward and help with that question? I'm asking Mr. Parker. Could you expound on that, what that actually meant, to get him clear? Because different people interpret that different. I don't interpret it that way, but maybe you can help. What you say, that your problem with the box?
Oh, you want to come here?
Because we have to take a vote after a while.
Yeah, I can say, so I think generally, as it relates to communications around grants, anything that surrounds a grant, we engage communications department just to make sure the messaging is clear and concise. Our communications person meets with them and the communications department here on a weekly basis, so there's not been a challenge in terms of that cadence, but as things transition to grants, making sure that messaging is aligned is kind of the priority for us.
So are you saying that if we want to, let's say, somebody record the building of Central, we do a recording of it, we have to send an approval to you all? Because when you say grant, I don't see it says if we mention the Mount Foundation grant, we have to send approval. I don't see that in there.
So I would say if you look back at I think there are 6 active grants between the my foundation currently.
Yes.
And there is a cadence for how we engage and communicate
let me make sure I'm clear. I'm not trying to attack the thing, right? What I'm trying to make sure we clarify is if we want to do a video of Central, are we saying we have to send it to you all?
I don't know if that's what that is.
A video of
Video of
Central, if you want to
Central.
advertise the new building, are you saying we have to send it to the Mott Foundation for approval?
I don't know that that's what that messaging says.
Okay.
But again, that's probably a different level of conversation that can be had with
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Loon?
Yeah, so, a couple things. So, Trustee King, so, you know my day job at the MEDC, right? We give out grants to companies. This is a very common practice when we coordinate communications with the city, with the company, with other partners, so it's a very standard procedure. But I hear what you're saying, but I'll just say this on a wider scale. We're building a new high school with a $100 million gift from the CS Mouth Foundation, which I'll put that in layman's terms. We're not raising a bond or property taxes to do that. So I'm cool with this either way, but I'm just, that's a point I wanted to put out there is like, we're doing this with a $100 million grant from a philanthropy, and then again, from the state of Michigan that does not raise our taxes directly and put the burden for that on our taxpayers. So overall, this is a very good thing. So I'll be voting for this tonight.
Thank you. Trustee McIntyre?
Yeah, is someone who's probably the biggest critic of the nonprofit industrial complex and philanthropy itself.
Madam President.
I have the floor, please stop. I want to commend again, I just want it on record to commend the Mott Foundation for the work that it has done over the years to truly become a partner with the Flint schools. When I came in, I was very, very critical. I mean, I'm still critical in the sense that I'm watching everything and holding you accountable as I hope that you do to the board. I think that the language in here is appropriate, especially considering the magnitude of the grant, not just monetary, not in just terms of monetary terms, but this is in terms of, again, and I've said this several times, this is 1926 to 2026. This is unprecedented. This is history right here, and I am very grateful for the collaboration, and I can see the importance for the messaging because this is going to be in history books. This is, and hopefully this is something that can be scalable and replicable to the rest of the country in terms of public education, especially with all the attacks that we have on it from the federal level. So, again, I'm a custodian and I'm a guardian of democracy and public education, but I'm just so impressed with the partnership that has been developed, and this is years and years and hours of hard work. And so, make no mistake, I'm not just rolling over or just going, oh, okay, it's all great now. But this is something that I think that other people, other institutions, other school districts need to pay attention to because this is how it's done.
Yes.
This is how it's done. And like Trustee Luna said, we're not trying to raise a bond. It's not the entire sum. We still are responsible for, for our share of the partnership. We're hoping to get community engagement in terms of, buying bricks or whatever. We're not just limiting ourselves to the Mott Foundation, but it is a partnership. It's not, they are no longer a colonial overseer, but they are truly a partner. So I want to approve this, and I think that the language is appropriate and pretty standard.
Trustee Rutherford?
Thank you. I sent my questions in to Superintendent Jones, I think, last week, and I agree with Trustee King as it relates to the district ability to discuss the school as to communicate what's going on. That was concerning. And then the term, the project, I would like for the terminology of Flint Community High School to remain a part of the letter. And my question is, has legal read this for Flint Community Schools? Has our legal team read it? And also, for me, I just want to make sure that the high school remains a part of Flint Community Schools from forever. I just want to make sure that that right there is understood by all parties, that the high school will remain a part of Flint Community School District. So these questions were sent to Superintendent Jones. I sent these to Superintendent Jones. I was under the impression that we were going to have, I'll let you have the floor if you want to talk. Thank you. So I was under the impression that we were going to have a discussion, the board, look at this letter, to not have this out in the open, so that the board would have a consensus and we could just move forward. But I didn't see where legal read this and approved it. That's all. That was so. For
Page
me,
72 and 73 is legal.
well, when I asked that to Mr. Jones, so you are, for me, I didn't. That's why I asked the question. So you are, for me, this is major, but Flint Schools has to raise, and I appreciate the partnership saying you all need to raise funds. Flint, we're responsible, and if I'm incorrect, please correct me, to raise $35 million towards this. And there were things put in place that Flint Community Schools must do. It's not just, here you go. It's not that. We're responsible for a portion of that. So I appreciate the foundation for putting that in place. And I don't think it was just thrown together. I just had questions. And I'm for this, but I just needed clarification that the school remains Flint Community, of Flint Public School. That's just was my question, and I asked that to Superintendent Jones. It could have been an email to me, but I just wanted to make sure that it's in the language, just like Hurley Hospital can never be sold. So I would love to have that same verbiage where we can retain the high school, because it is a pivotal part of this community, and a lot of people are looking forward to having a new building, new energy, and create new traditions. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. On page 75, Flint Community School must raise a minimum of $35,925,000 in addition to support the project, for this project. We have done that through the government. When we first had that meeting with the Mott's and everyone, and Ridgeway White, Mr. Ridgeway White said you come up with 50 million, he'll help with the rest. But we came up with the 36 million. This is where we at. We came up with $35,925,000. This has already been done. It's just implemented in that letter. So the work is done. It was understood that it'd be a Flint Community School. You cannot expect somebody to walk in the door, drop $36 million in your lap, and then another 100 millions, and no one else reached out to do anything for this district. And everything in this letter is clear and precise. You might not get everything you want. We're not going to, yes, and it's been legally reviewed. We're not going to break this letter down and go back all through these different steps and stuff, because we had adequate time. The motion on the floor is to accept this letter of commitment. We done had discussion. Are we ready for the votes? Has been properly moved and second, has it? We are out of discussion. Roll call. Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford.
No.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Treasurer Luna.
Yes.
And myself, 7 yes, 1 no. thank you. Anybody want to make a comment?
Yeah,
I
Madam-
want to thank the Mott Foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had shown what true partnership and leadership looks like. When you have a person that knows how to lead, this is how you get results done.
Yeah.
We was in the red on both sides of the book. The board was in a chaos. Look at us. We are a top certified board through partnership, through working with people, getting this stuff done. We're still trying to tear down buildings. We're working on that.
Yes.
Got the Republican and the Senate to put it in their budget, $8.5 million.
That's right.
We would not nickel and dime and pick through this here stuff just to be, whatever you want to call it. We got dealing with the teacher. We're trying to work on something with behavior with the kids. So we don't know if a teacher can teach or not when 45% of the class time is behavior. This is what this board do.
Thank
I'm
you.
a problem solver. That's what my master and I
Thank
write
you.
policy. And I'm good at it. And I'm good at my leadership. And I'm good at listening. This is why we're where we at. So I want to thank this here board for all the work we put in, the long hours we put in, the phone calls about buildings. We have to do a lot. And this is a board that doesn't get paid. We're here because we see a change and we want to make a difference. We don't get paid and don't come to a board meeting. We don't have that luxury. We do not get paid. But we are trying to solve this district of 2,800 kids. And what a shame that somebody would sit here and nitpick $100 million and another stuff. We are trying to save the district, get enrollment up, and give these teachers the lifestyle they have. They went to school to have a peaceful experience teaching our kids. They can't teach if they don't prepare to learn. So we're working on a parenting university, talking to different people to help us. We're going to ask teachers to come in, share your story, help us with these parents. That is some of the things that I've been throwing out there. So that is what we're looking forward to doing, is listen to you coming up with a conclusion. We done did everything else on here? Did we do academics? Go ahead, proceed.
I seek a motion and a second from the board to approve Resolution 25.3.
Madam Chair,
Resolution,
Trustee King.
I moved to bash 25.3, 25.4,
Yeah.
25.5.
Motion on the floor to bash 25.3, 25.4, and 25.5.
Support.
It's been properly supported. Is there any discussion? Roll call to batch. Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre.
Yes.
Trustee Luna.
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
And myself, yes. The next motion on the floor is to approve it.
Move
need-
to approve the bashed item.
Support.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, roll call. Trustee King.
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford.
Yes.
Trustee Luna.
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre.
Yes.
Trustee Booth.
Yes.
Trustee Perkins.
Yes.
And myself, yes. 7 yes, the motion passed. At this time, we will take remarks from individual board members, and please make your remarks no more than 2 minutes. People want to go home.
Ladies first.
Ladies first, let's go. Trustee Perkins.
Hi, okay, I wanted to commend the board, Trustee Booz, the superintendent, Trustee Relaford, and myself attended the funeral for Tahari Knox on today, and it was packed in there, and our former mayor Karen Weaver was there, Tanya Burns, just some of the elected officials, a lot of clergy, but it was a beautiful homegoing service. And so we all attended that. That's one thing. The next thing, I just want to commend Gianni Brown again for his efforts in being a great senior. And we're looking to help him in any way we can going forward to be successful. There was, well, I'm just going to mention it. I know we have a policy on backpacks, but Sister Audrey Muhammad Young wanted me to mention that they wanted to put a class on for the younger children to learn how to pack backpacks. And I told her we had a policy that we had no backpacks and no hoodies. But she wanted me to mention it, so I'm mentioning it. If y'all got thoughts on that, you can,
Contact you.
contact me,
Thank
and
you.
I'll relate the message. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Any more? Trustee Luna?
Yeah. I joked earlier about you trying to get that evaluation as highly effective, but I do appreciate all the efforts and the proactive steps you've done in the last couple years, but more recently I've noticed, so thank you for that. And then, you got it. And then just a quick note, so it was 8.8 or 8.5, I forget the
Yeah.
ask. Okay, so the 8.8. So to put that into context, we pay our lobbyists $3,000 a month. If that goes through, that's a 244.5 ROI. So just to show the value of having those lobbyists in Lansing is very, very good for the district, and hoping we can get more funding next year to do that. And I've heard from Democrats and Republicans who are there
Yes.
that they really appreciate that. Let's think about it. Like, we're a small district, and between the 36 million and 8.8, like other districts, again, they have to pass bonds and millages to do this, and we didn't. So I'm just very thankful for all the folks who were involved in that. Mr. Jones, Dr. Jameson, Mr. Parker, Mr. Omar Sims, Mr. Jeremiah
Yes.
Milcalf, and then the two chairs of the school aid committee. It's Senator Camilleri in the Senate and Senator Tim Kelly in the House. So thank you for that. Oh, and Ms. Perkins, she was there.
Yes.
Ms. Perkins, President McNeil and Vice President McIntyre also went to Lansing to speak on our behalf. So thank you.
Madam Chair,
Trustee Rutherford?
I did attend Ms. Knox's service, but I want to bring the attention to the staff of Brownell. They did a phenomenal job preparing the students. 3 young ladies stood up in front of that church and read a letter to their deceased classmate. That was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life, to see an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 10-year-old tell their friend, rest in heaven, rest in peace. And to see the kids just hold each other, the teachers, the staff, and I don't know the principal name. I sat beside her. Ms. Shea says, and with tears in her eyes, she said, they just come to school and just cry. She said, that's all they do is cry. So I don't know if we have therapists in the schools to help, the grief counselors, to help with the kids. This is going to be a long process. And as I went out, the 2 young ladies, they may be sisters. One is 8 and one is 10. They had on green dresses. And the mom, I was just saying, you did a great job. And the mom walked up, she said, they just cry. I don't know what to do. All she did was cry. And so I said to the mother, I said, you cry because you love them. But I just want to share what the mom allowed me to share with those babies. And I said to both of them, that's your friend. But I want you to grow up and create legislation and create things to where this will never happen to another person. I want you to prepare yourself to make this country a lot better because you lost your friend at such a young age. You're going to cry because you love her, but don't reduce her to the day that she transitioned. Think about all the good times. And as we talked about the good times and them on the playground, I actually saw a smile come out of their faces. And the mom just hugged me and said, thank you. So I'm just saying to this board, we can't stop supporting that family today. We have to continue. I don't know what can be done, Mr. Jones, but I just ask that we keep Brownell, the entire building, in our thoughts and prayers, because they have to continue with these babies every day. We don't. So I just ask you all to please say a prayer for that family continuously. And as the preacher said, we have to come together. We have to come together. And I just ask you all to participate in coming together. And I was between former Mayor Weaver and Councilperson Burns, and you had 3 women in positions just crying. That's all we could do was cry because it's so unfair to see an 8-year-old baby talk. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
How's the sister doing?
Say it one more time.
How is his sister doing?
She was there.
She was there?
She was she was on crutches.
I think she's in shock,
She was there.
very shocked.
I wasn't sure if she was still sick in the hospital or not.
It was a struggle for all of us.
Yeah,
It was a struggle.
I'm gonna let Superintendent Jones speak to the public, how we have staff and people to support. We don't want people to leave out saying that you're not doing your part as a district.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
From the day, well, we have had tragedy before
Yes.
in our district, and we have social workers and support staff that leave their buildings and go over to whatever building it is for that support, but we have ongoing support as well. And our teachers do a really good job of being there for scholars who have lost their loved ones or those that are dealing with grief in some way. So that is ongoing. That didn't just start through this tragedy. That's been going on for a while.
Thank you. Trustee Booth?
Yes, I would like to say that, today when I was sitting in the sanctuary looking at all the young people, it was just amazing how they support each other. And there was a lot of teachers there and principals and other staff members there. The room was full of support. It was full. And they was, serving the young youth. It was a lot of youth in the building, young parents and young adults. But when I was sitting there, I was thinking, I said, I heard of the tragedy before, the young lady who was killed by her mate, a person she was living with. And I was just thinking, I said, well, we haven't lost anybody in our school. We losing them when they leave the school. And that was kind of overwhelming for me. We've been keeping our kids' youth pretty safe in the schools other than fights. But we haven't had anyone murdered in our schools or, but they are leaving us. They're passing away when they leave our schools and go to their homes and to their communities. So that was kind of overwhelming for me. I think we're doing a pretty good job keeping them safe in our schools, but we want them safe in the community as well.
Trustee King, last one.
Yes, to the public and to my colleagues, I wasn't able to make last week's meeting, but when I think about the unfortunate incident for one of our scholars and the family, it's disheartening, it's disappointing that we have to live in this state of tension in our community and violence. And we all ask the question, what can we do? We all ask, we all require, and we say, the young people need to do this, or you got to train them up. And I would encourage, from my perspective as a young person, engaged and active, anybody that encounters a young person, before we try to find fault, I would encourage you to ask the question, how can I support you? That question, as older adults that we engage with youth, oftentimes we have the prerogative to tell them what they need to do and what they should do better. We know our scholars come in our school buildings with a lot of challenges before the school bell rings. And I would encourage every adult, every person that encounters a young person to lead with, how can I support you, versus what they should be doing. You can do that afterwards, but I would encourage to give more buy-in, to always ask, lean in, how can I support you? To the second piece, I would say thank you to our graduate. Thank you for the team bringing our graduate here to give the senior exit presentation. Being a part of the senior exit presentations was good this year to see our kids be able to aspire to great things, and also see our staff helping them get there, which is good to me. As it pertains to my line of questioning to the MAP Foundation's commitment letter, I want to make sure I'm unequivocally clear, is that I'm committed to seeing this high school built. I'm committed to making sure we maintain partnerships, as we all have been committed to doing on this board. But one thing that remains the same and consistent with me, I'm going to ask my questions. We all know that piece. And it's never, my questions are never to be intended to be offensive or assume an ill intent. I would rather ask questions, as we are all privy and have asked questions to different contracts and different things. When I have a question, I'm gonna ask it because that's my job, and that's what we're elected to do. So I just want to make sure I'm clear there. But I look forward to seeing the great things we do together, and thank you.
Thank you. I think I want to end this meeting on a good high note. The young man that got up and spoke, he was about 18. 18.
Gianni Brown?
Yeah,
Mhm.
18. 10 years ago, he was 8 years old, stricken by the water crisis. These parents, children, need a voice in high places. Call down there to their judge and tell them to release that water fund crisis to those children. The young man is trying to go to school, $600-some million. Most of the young men is around here shooting is about 26 years of age at the most. 10 years ago, they were 16. $600-some million plus interest. You can say what you want to say, money answers everything. We have done everything we can. We need that judge to release those checks. Help us. Help us. Put this community in a better place than it is. The mom, it's a 12-year-old. She was 2. If you give her that check today, she can build her own work. She wouldn't have to be running around here to go find me. $600-some million, and I don't mind saying it, I'm not afraid. It is time for them to release that Flint water crisis settlement to this family and give them their fund. Who knows, it might have a better classroom. We can do a lot of things to it. They can move into a better community. So people have been calling me, what can I do? Call somebody and tell that judge, get off her tail and cut those checks.
12 years.
12 years. And this young man is trying to go to school and looking for grants and stuff. That is what I'm asking the public to do. It's time for the public to raise issue. I fought for my son. He died in it. I got my justice. But I'm not happy until everybody get their justice.
Amen.
You're not begging. You're asking them to pay us for damage they done. So maybe some of the killing will stop. Just maybe they can come to school and maybe moms can help them. So I hope that we make that part clear. It's a sad day, but a sadder day is that people are leaving here and haven't got restitution. So thank you guys for attending our meetings. There's a lot went on. My prayers go for the family, those that went before the young ladies, those that went before that person. It is time that the city be made whole financially. And thank you to my foundation, who is trying everything he can to help make this city whole. Have a great day. This meeting is adjourned at what time?
8:30.
8:30.